Would y'all want your hair looking like this? This is exactly how to get perfect 1990s, 1980s hair. Very geometric. It's definitely more 80s. Kind of got that 80s rock star vibe going right there. Look how geometric that is. This is a foil permed. When you brush it out gently and use a little bit of hairspray, it becomes extremely glamorous and retro. Definitely a pretty interesting style. But how your perm will not look like this. Continue watching to see the finished version of this perm when you style it properly. Hey y'all, so how many of y'all wondered if you could use foil to perm? And the short answer is you can. So Zotos a while back did a wonderful program called, it was based off of the show Fear Factor, and it was the Perm Factor Challenge. So the word perm scares a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that don't know how perms work. And hey, there's a lot of hairdressers out there, me being a professional hairdresser, it's sad to say this, a lot of hairdressers do not know how perms work. So both professionals and the average person don't always understand these chemicals. So when selecting a perm, it's important to consider a lot of things, and I've gone over this before. For those that are not aware about how perms work, please start with this video right over here. So take the time to look at that. If this is your first time doing your hair, remember I am a professional, so everything you're doing is at your own discretion. And if something feels like it's not right, please don't do it. So this right here is my perm victim. She's got this awesome red hair color look. I did a mixture of vibrant reds, fashion reds, and I did a little bit of hair color up here. All the color in her hair is with 20 volume maximum. So that's typically the standard when you're doing a hair color. Sorry, actually it's 10 volume. I messed up. 10 volume, and I did a permanent hair color with a lower grade peroxide, and I made it a demi. So it's, you know, there's no MEA in it. It's all permanent color, which is good. And this model, she wants a little bit of volume and a little bit of wave. So, you know, let's say she comes in and her hair is, you know, normal. It's not overly porous from the hair color because the color was done correctly. She understands that with all perms, color will fade a little bit. So the perm I'm going to be doing for this, because I really want to get, you know, firm, you know, body and waves, I'm going to pick up this perm, and this is Design Freedom by Zotos, and this is an alkaline-based perm. It's got their special GFE enriched neutralizer, so it doesn't stink up like other perms do. This is a firm perm. It's an alkaline perm for tinted hair. So on the perming scale, you know that alkaline perms use ATG, ammonium thioglycolate. That is the strongest perming chemical out there, but at different concentrations. Because this is for tinted up to 20 volume hair, you know, you are going to either water wrap or you're going to lotion wrap. What a lotion wrap is you're going to saturate section waving lotion, you're going to wrap the hair, and if needed, apply a little bit more of the waving lotion on for it to process. You want to work quickly and efficiently when lotion wrapping, and it's used when you really want strong hair. Now the other technique that we can do is water wrap, but that's more soft, and I want firm waves and body for the style. So we're going to make her have a lot more volume. So starting out, I'm going to section the hair. Okay, so I sectioned the hair in thicker sections, and I used a zigzag parting. And the zigzag parting is going to give me a lot more of a natural feel. It's not going to look very traditional. And what I also did for the foil perm is I took aluminum foil sheets and I rolled them out, and I rolled them into almost like oval shapes. And they're going to kind of function just like a flexi rod. And I'm going to roll them in, you know, going downward, and then I'm going to fold them the opposite direction to lock them in place. And I know the idea of, you know, using foil for a perm is like, what? But apparently, according to Zotos, you can do it. So we're going to demonstrate this on a mannequin that's been colored, and we're using the proper perm for her selected hair type. Now, in my own opinion, if someone has bleached hair, you do not want to use this perm because this perm is no joke and it could melt through the bleached hair. If you're going to perm it anyway, you want to wet it first and water wrap, and you want to use a heck of a protein treatment beforehand. There is a perm that they used to make called Perfect for Platinum. I wish they would make it again because I used to love that for bleached, heavy highlighted, over 40%, and double processed hair, and it worked wonders. Okay, so starting out, I'm going to start out my perm by puncturing the waving lotion bottle. And just to, you know, a little heads up, this perm absolutely stinks horribly. It smells like, you know, dog doo-doo. Funny story about that, I was doing a lotion wrap the one time, and my mom asked if our dog had an accident in the house because the perm absolutely stinks that bad. So I'm going to take a rough section, and first I'm just going to saturate this. So you just want to go gently, and when you're lotion wrapping, you want to be careful not to drip too much. But, you know, use it gently and kind of spread it throughout your hands. And see how that just sucks it right up? And I'm going to go now, and I'm going to take a section right here. I'm going to pin this up. I'm going to take 2 end papers. And I'm going to wrap. Wrap it with nice firm tension and lock. And it takes a while to kind of maneuver the right thing, but eventually you'll get it. And then I'm just going to go in and further saturate this. And I'm going to go through and do the rest just like so. Taking in a big section and really saturate it with that perming solution. And what this does is it allows the perm to enter the hair first, so you're going to absorb more of the perm. You're not going to absorb, you know, it's not going to be diluted, you know, per se, as if you use like water. And it also helps to really saturate the bigger sections that you're doing. And a lotion wrap is a technique that they normally don't use anymore, but I find it really useful, especially for, you know, long hair, resistant hair. You're really going to get a firmer curl with it. Now, if your client has a lot of styling product first, you're going to want to fully cleanse and clarify the hair before you use this product. Otherwise, you know, you're going to risk potentially not getting all the product out, and you could have, you know, breakage from that. You can have a lot of just nasty reactions. So, always use, you know, your stylist's discretion when doing this technique. Wrap this up. And twist. Now on to the next section. This one I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to wrap this one facing up, and this is just going to give it more of a natural direction and more of a natural wave. And if any of the section dries, you put a little bit more perm solution. And because that's wrapped up, that gets wrapped down. I'm going to apply just a little bit more here. On to the next bottom section. And you don't want this dripping everywhere, so you just kind of gently squirt it, and I use my finger to kind of spread it gently. Now that's the cool thing with this, the way they do perm solutions is they do them in a way that it's very user friendly. It's not going to be, super hard to use. It's not going to be, dripping everywhere. It's a slightly, and I mean slightly thicker liquid. And of course the client would have cotton when doing this, but trying to save money where I can. Alright, I'm going to wrap this one. And lock upward. And just apply a little bit more waving lotion in there. And I'll lock that one. And to do this, if you don't want to waste money on professional foil, well, not that you shouldn't, buy professional, use Reynolds foil wrap. Reynolds is still, aluminum foil, but it is a little bit thicker and you're able to get the bigger cuts out of it. Now, if you have short hair, you want to use the regular professional foil wraps. Okay, and for this, I'm going to do more of another zigzag parting here. I'm going to take another sheet of aluminum. Get my end papers first. So I'm going to move up here. And in the front, I'm going to do them a little bit bigger. That way she has a little bit more volume up there, but in the back she'll have, you know, some of the wave as well. You know, when you're doing this, think of like natural hair. Natural hair doesn't necessarily have a pattern that it follows. It tends to be a little bit different in terms of wave pattern and not uniform. And that's the nice thing about this type of perm, is it's really aimed at giving body and a slight wave. This side next. All right, I'm gonna finish wrapping and I'll be right back. All right, now I'm gonna take my next section. I'm gonna roll. Now we get to the top. And the same thing. Last three sections. I'm going to roll them back so I get quite a bit of body from the hair. All right, now to the front piece. Work that waving lotion in section by section. I'm going to do this actually in two pieces, make it easier. Now for the next one and the last one. What I like to do is just go over each and every section, give it a little swipe across to make sure I saturated fully. Then I'm going to bag her head. After I bag her head, I'm going to process this for 15 minutes, which is, the perm does not require any kind of test curl or anything like that. And I used one whole perm, and that should be more than enough for the whole section. So again, this perm does not require a test curl or anything. 15 minutes of processing and rinse. For 5 minutes, and after rinsing, neutralize. Okay, so we've rinsed for 5 minutes and we towel blotted. Now we're going to apply the neutralizer. As you can see, the perm had lightened, but watch, because you might actually see a reaction where it starts to reoxidize. So I'm going to start by just applying the neutralizer. So I do 3 swipes across for each one. I'm going to save a little bit of neutralizer for when I take off the thing, because I don't want to, risk, not fully neutralizing. and leave the neutralizer on for 5 minutes. Okay, so as y'all can see, the color actually has deepened and darkened a little bit. And that's typical because what happens is the color, even though it looks like it disappears, it doesn't disappear. The molecules just shrink. And while some of them, especially because this is red, fade, some of them are still intact. So I'm going to go and I'm going to undo the rod, or the foil I should say. I'm going to undo the foil on each section. Definitely got a really cool texture with this. I can't say I've seen waves like this before. Kind of very similar to the braid perm. I'm just going to scrunch in that neutralizer. Neutralizer stays in for about a minute, and then I'm going to rinse for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to style. Oh my goodness, y'all. I don't even know what to call this. I'm going to call this fabulously fried, dyed, and definitely laid to the side. But in all seriousness, it actually added quite a bit of volume and it gave it a very dated look. This is a very vintage 1980s look. It definitely has that stereotypical permed look. I was not expecting to see it like this, and my theory could be maybe the mannequin had something in the hair it reacted with. Maybe the hair just didn't take the perm right. But that's the fun thing with mannequins. You test it out and you see if it works. Better to mess up here than on a person. Maybe I could have done, smaller foil sections. The foil, though, did have a triangle shape, but look at this texture right here. This is like a crimped texture. And the hair doesn't feel like it's falling out or anything. So it's definitely not necessarily an over-processing thing. It has to do with the type of texture used. I'm going to try to blow this out and see if it actually changes, because sometimes that happens with specialty perms. Some types of perms you have to add styling to. It did suck the color out, but it did kind of make like a brassier, brighter version of this tone. So that was pretty interesting to see. I'm going to come back when this is blown out. Alright, so this is the finished result, and I gotta say it actually looks pretty good blown out. Now, my theory behind this of why it has so much volume, because this mannequin before was very limp and would not, blow out well for anything. when you have that crimped-like texture, because the foil gives it like a crimpy look, on shorter hair, it translates more to like a wave. On longer hair, it looks more like a crimped frizz mess. But that crimped frizz mess is why it's important, because that allows for massive volume. When you crimp hair and you comb out or you brush out crimped hair, you get a lot of volume. There's that crimping tool that a lot of people are using to get volume in their hair. It's just a spin on the crimping iron. You'll crimp like the root underneath and you kind of just brush and tease it up. But look more importantly at how much volume she got around here. She's got a crazy like money piece right there. It's like a permed money piece. And it almost kind of looks like a heart in the face with the face frame. So she definitely has, you know, a real nice big look. She's got a lot of volume that she's not going to get without a perm-like texture. I mean, she can get it with roller setting, but that's a lot of time and work. And it still has that messy look. She could probably use a trim on the ends, not going to lie there. A little bit of hairspray, but all in all, it actually comes out really nice when you do style it. And it just goes to show you that not all perms are made to be a wash and wear style. Some of them, like this one, you need a lot of maintenance. And I'll give you all a side profile view right here. And I probably would try this with maybe like a thio-free, because a thio-free might produce more of an interesting texture as opposed to this, which can be a little bit more, you know, poofy. She's got a lot of volume back here. Like her walking around, this is like Staten Island style hair. And the other side view. This definitely is a little bit more of a dated look, but it's a good way to get kind of like an 80s look if you wear, like wash and wear it. Or if you want to, you know, kind of get like that 90s feel with the right haircut. She might look similar to, you know, some of those 90s celebrities that had styles like that, like the classical Friends shag haircut. But I think it looks pretty good. Comment down below and tell me what y'all think about this style. Definitely has an interesting vibe to it. It's definitely something really interesting. I can't say that there's a client out there that would want a perm like that because they might freak about the result, but I might try it again. At some point too, I'm also trying to find some of the perms that they just recently discontinued to do videos with to kind of show y'all what we've lost in the beauty industry. But I'll show y'all some different techniques and hopefully eventually we'll get back to, you know, perming scientifically. So if you like this content, please like, please comment, and please hit that subscribe button down below. Only a fraction of my viewers even subscribe. That's pretty hurtful. If y'all want to know how to get more techniques like this and more out-of-the-box ideas, consider sending some tips when I go live too. That all helps. All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing week, and I will see y'all soon. All right, y'all. So this is the finished look after doing the foil perm. This is how the foil perm should look. The foil perm is excellent for short hair, not long hair, as if any of y'all decide to watch this video, y'all are going to find that out. The entire hair essentially fried to a crisp when it was long. Part of the reason is because when you're doing this perm, you might not get full saturation. And the other reason is the fact that you typically take slightly thicker sections. And even though I did a lotion wrapping technique, it still was not enough. I probably should have used a thio-free solution because it would have been more of a medium texture without you know, swelling the hair up so much. But again, we live and we learn. This hair has a little bit of mousse in it, so it has that nice crunchy look. It's got a lot more volume. And I ended up taking this mannequin that was previously colored, gave her the big chop, and I did a nice graduated bob. And I still got to fix the sides a little bit because I tried to do a little bit of asymmetry, but I'm liking her kind of more symmetrical. That is the look of the foil perm. It's got that nice 90s, 80s vibe to it, that crunchy look when you put the mousse in it. And this is a little bit of mousse and just a gentle air dry. That's the side profile of the hair. And even though this perm is safe for color treated hair, I did notice quite a bit of fading, but it could also be because this mannequin was red, and reds always fade no matter what. And that is the back of the hair as well. So I definitely foresee in a coming video, I'm going to recolor her, and I'm going to do a video on how to color distressed permed hair using permanent hair color. And that's the top of the head, so y'all can see that. It was pretty cool because with this perm, it kind of gave her a little bit of lift and volume at the scalp. You get that almost like finger wave-like look, and it's totally customized because of the shape of the foil. So I used regular hair foils for this perm. I used end papers, And I think the fact that I also cut off the fried ends, it really brought the hair back to life, because it was really the bottom of the hair that I found that was really distressed and potentially broken. The top part and mid shaft of the hair was totally fine. So as I started cutting the hair starts springing up and I'm like, oh wow, these waves are here. She got a nice protein treatment and moisturizing treatment to further bring those curls back to life. So for those that are watching, please continue watching and see what happened with this perm. Where did it go wrong? And if y'all really want to laugh, watch until the end, because you're going to see the fried mess that I was left with. Happy watching, and be sure y'all to please share this video, like this video, and subscribe. Only 10% of my viewers even subscribe, which is so darn unfortunate.